we pair up food and beer, some of the things to think about are contrast, but also things that go well together. Complements and contrast. And then intensity is the other one. So we want to be sure that neither the beer nor the food that we're eating is going to overpower, but to really help accent one another. So we can do that through contrast, and something that people often don't think about are a bitter IPA with a really sweet food, and so we'll kind of look at some of that. And then also complementing one another and having some of the same flavors and have them build up on each other. So Peppermint Patties, one of my favorites. Obviously, lots of chocolate, lots of peanut butter, and so I think we're looking at a darker beer here, so a nut brown. So say like a Samuel Smith nut brown, or perhaps a Pile of Dirt porter from Crow Peak can go really well and help to bring out some of those chocolatey and nutty flavors. Also chocolate stout. Samuel Smith has an imperial chocolate stout, or a Eugene milk chocolate stout can go really, really well with a with the peanut butter patty. Next we'll do caramel delights. So with the caramel delights, I really want to play up the caramel, and I think an amber would go really well, say Crazy Mountain amber, or even a Fat Tire Alaskan amber. Really kind of pick your favorite. You can bump it up a little bit and go to an ESB, an extra special bitter. So Crazy Mountain Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, or Breckenridge special ESB. And then if we want to go even one step further, go to a barley wine, Central Waters Bourbon Barrel barley wine, or Moylan's Old Blarney, and really bring out those. The alcohol is really going to bring out a lot of the caramel notes that the caramel delights have in them. Next, we'll go to a classic, the thin mints. Not a lot of mint in beer, but so we're really going to focus on some of the more chocolatey aspects. And I think here a really solid American stout is what we're looking for. I think an English stout could go well as well, but I'm thinking like Boulevard Imperial Stout, or a Russian Imperial Stout like Old Rasputin. I think would go really well and really just help to bring out some of those bold flavors. Now let's switch to something a little bit lighter. So the Cranberry Citrus Crisp, a relatively new cookie. With this, I think we want to play up on the citrus as well as some of the fruit. So we could go straight fruit and drink like Lindemann's Framboise, a raspberry flavored lambic with this, and I think that would help kind of play things up. But I think an IPA or a pale ale would really shine with the Cranberry Citrus Crisp. A lot of IPAs and pale ales have a lot of citrus notes in them, and so this can be a really good way to draw some of that out. The other beer that I think would go well with this is a Saison, like Tank 7 from Boulevard, and it's a very spicy beer, and so I think that's going to help to draw out some of those more complicated flavors. And then finally we have the lemonades, the Shortbread, and so this is what I'm talking about when we say pairing some sweet with more bitter. So an IPA, so for instance, and I think a light IPA. Odell IPA is a great IPA, but it might be a little bit heavy for this. So something like the Hooky Bog from Crazy Mountain, or Fresh Squeezed IPA from Deschutes, I think would go really well with this. Pale ales, Sweetgrass from Grand Teton, or Acme Pale Ale from North Coast Brewing Company, I think would go really well with helping to bring out some of the sweetness and balancing and contrasting some of the hops that go with it. In the end, those are just my opinions. That's the fun thing about trying new beers and pairing them with different things. So go ahead and try all sorts of stuff. That's the beauty of these cookies too. You got a couple beers, open up the cookies and see what goes best. So just remember, it's about intensity, it's about contrast, and it's about complementing flavors, and most of all, it's about having fun. So thank you so much. Cheers.